Well, mentally, if I didn't go to football 3 or 4 times a week, I would have nobody to talk to.
Walking football has saved people's lives.
Getting men to talk, you know, it's not easy, but it's something that we're trying to aim for.
It's a massive part of my life, even when I can't play, if I've got an injury, I go down and referee.
And I'm a big advocate for early intervention. I think if we all just get out, you know, regardless of whether we think we need it, just have those moments where we can stop. And then when we're faced with something that might be stressful, we tend to be able to cope a little bit better.
Us blokes are great at saying we're fine when really we're not. Stress, pressure, loneliness, that feeling that you have to hold it together for work, for home, for everyone else. Now, getting out and about in the fresh air is where things can really start to shift. Walking football, a weekend hike, a game of tennis. It's not really about the sport, it's about connection, a reason to show up, a place where you don't have to explain everything. So you don't have to go it alone. Come on, let's talk. Now, walking football is becoming ever more popular. Fred Watson's been playing a long time and he says it has tremendous benefits for his own well-being.
Well, the benefits for me was I would be home on my own because my children work every day, and so I'd be literally home on my own. So getting out and having exercise, because I've got Parkinson's disease. Right. So having Parkinson's disease, you need to keep your joints and bones moving. So I decided to go to football, and I've been doing 3 to 4 days a week, which is quite good. Well, mentally, if I didn't go to football 3 or 4 times a week, I would have nobody to talk to, number one. So getting out and having the friendship of the kind of people that I've always associated myself with, that means competitors, which I was highly competitive. And I played centre-half for 6 years, and I must have been the smallest centre-half in the world, you know. But I did that because I enjoyed it. It's a massive part of my life, even when I can't play, if I've got an injury, I go down and referee. Yeah. Which I've done today because I've got a bit of a chest infection and I felt a bit weak, so I refereed. And that environment, keeping me down there with people, having a laugh, a joke, and going and having a coffee and a bun, keeps you going.
Yeah. What would you say to somebody that may be thinking of joining something like a walking football club, that may be a little bit apprehensive about turning up?
I know you might be apprehensive because after many years of not playing, you might feel that your bones can't go through it. But believe me, after you've been going 2 or 3 weeks, your bones get adjusted back to playing again, and you drop into it like you did before when you were a young man.
I get numerous benefits. I have certain physical disabilities. I have lymphedema of the right leg, so it's 3 or 4 times the size of the other. I have arthritic left knee and a few back issues. But I also, several years ago, through to a poor divorce, had mental issues. So my benefits are that I can get some exercise, which I wouldn't do normally, even though I have disabilities, because walking football enables me to either play in goal or play out if I feel up to it with painkillers. It gives me that physical ability to exercise. But mentally, if there's 80 lads on a Monday, there's the banter before when we have coffee, banter after, and they're also there for if I have mental issues to talk about. It's nice to talk to other people, because at that age, 55 and above, we all have had life experiences, and it's great that they give you some feedback, and they also support you if you're feeling particularly bad. But I seriously think walking football has saved people's lives. A lot of the lads over 55 have encountered, like I have, certain things. Wives could be deceased, they could have had divorces, not seeing the children. But if you're talking to lads that are there and have experienced exactly the same, you don't feel so isolated. But I also believe, perhaps not necessarily for me, although maybe because I did have suicidal tendencies at some point, there's a lot of the lads have lost their wives and have had serious events in their lives. If they didn't have walking football, they would be possibly isolated at home, and I do seriously believe they may have been tipped over the edge without that contact with gentlemen of their own age.
Now, while this short film has a heart, a starting point, if you will, in walking football, it's more than that. It's about outdoor activities and the benefits of that for good mental health. Now, James Elliott has a wellness group, and he's more well known in the local area in North East Lincolnshire as the Canoe River Cleaner.
I am a poor mental health sufferer. I suffered a marriage breakdown, and many years ago now, but also I was as someone who suffered with anxiety, probably in the wrong job being a car salesman. It's quite a stressful job, target driven, profit driven, and when the pandemic hit, obviously things calmed down, my stress levels dropped. But if I'm honest, being on the water, just holding a litter pick, I think, started it. We're quite basic, I think, as blokes. You know, it doesn't take a lot for us to get distracted. So just trying to grab a can out of a bush, or trying to get sort of a crisp packet and trying to get it in the litter picker and put it in the bag is enough really to take your mind off things. And I realised that was a form of meditation. Now, pair that up with a boat on the water, sat on the lowest point of the landscape in the company of wildlife, and you cannot beat it. I'm doing something productive, I'm giving back to the community, hopefully, but I'm also helping myself to heal. And I'm a big advocate for early intervention. I think if we all just get out, you know, regardless of whether we think we need it, and just have those moments where we can stop, and then when we're faced with something that might be stressful, we tend to be able to cope a little bit better. And I used to have a symptom where my eyes used to twitch, so it was a nerve thing. Used to hold my shoulders really high and tense up. So just by not doing those things anymore, it feels really great. And because I've been in that situation, because I've suffered from panic attacks, anxiety, agoraphobia, I don't take any of this for granted. And what I'd say to people is stop striving to be something and achieve. Look after yourself, and then if you look after yourself, you can look after others and your family. You're just better placed. I think we're trying to reach something that often is unattainable, and just be.
I think there's a sort of a generational conditioning that to man up is the way to deal with situations that are difficult, as opposed to talking about them. So what would be a better situation is for men of all ages to seek help, as opposed to living with this conditioning that says seeking help is a weakness, because it's not. In my experience of speaking to other therapists, it's not that men don't want to talk. When in a therapy room, tend not to shut up. But getting them in there, getting them into that space where people are able to share the challenges that they're facing, that's the issue. So the destigmatization, getting people into a space where they feel comfortable, or if not therapy, into a space where they can be with others. Because I think a big challenge here is, and it's something I think you address through Walking Football, is being with others in community, whatever that is, whether it is playing Walking Football, whether it is like James's work through All Things Good and Nice, out for a walk in the countryside, getting back into nature, just being with other people as opposed to being on our own. So I think there are a huge amount of factors on this, but I think the main issue is how we destigmatise the ability to ask for help and support when we need it, as opposed to hiding away from it and burying it.
James has taken his experiences of mental health challenges and used them to help others and form what is now a very popular wellness group, All Things Good and Nice.
Certainly that started because I was trying to make what I was doing sustainable, and I crowdfunded for what I was doing on the river, but I went from earning a healthy wage to earning zero. So someone mentioned about funding, but I couldn't get funding as an unconstituted group, just as Jim Elliott. Can I have some money? No, of course you can't. So I formed a community interest company called All Things Good and Nice, which is a song by one of my favourite bands all about gratitude. And I was able to apply for funding to do wellbeing activities because spending time within nature, I realised, was healing me. So I started to do wellbeing activities, which included nature walks for children and adults, keeping children connected, because we're born connected with nature, and reconnecting adults back into that, and also wellbeing canoe trips. And it's gone from strength to strength. As I say, I'm an advocate for early intervention. People are expensive and difficult to treat if we don't address mental health. I've got a Monday night walking group. We often go out with 100 people every Monday. Our job isn't to fix, but we're really helping people. Relationships are forming, friendship groups, the spin-off groups. It's really good, and I think we just need to go back to basics. I think, and just enjoy nature and just exercise.
I think one of the biggest things is the social aspects and the mental health thing. And I think within our group, club, and we've got real good banter. I think people look out for each other as well. And I think those individuals who have lost their partners, it's a big thing for them because it gives them something to aim for the week, meet people and not be locked up in their houses. Personally, I think men struggle because we're embarrassed. We don't think it's a manly thing to talk to each other. I think it's getting more out there now, and as part of the club, when we've joined the It's Okay to Talk and Andy's Man Club, and I think the message is getting out there now. And I think as blokes, we can all pick up when one of us is not our usual self. It's just that question: are you okay? But are you going to ask the question, no, are you really okay? Because we'll answer back, yeah, I'm fine, everything's fine. We don't want to talk about it, when we should open up a bit more and be braver.
So, we've talked about the individual benefits of various activities, backgrounds to causes of poor mental health, types of activities which might help, and analysed a little of the stigma of men's mental health. So there comes a time, hopefully, when someone recognises it's time to seek help.
I think we become conditioned to undertake very surface level transactions. All right, yeah, not bad. You? Yeah, not bad. You? That's it. It's a recognition that someone else is there, but it's not really asking that question. I think it can be quite illuminating if you ask someone if they're okay, and they go, yeah, not bad. And then you ask, are you okay? And that tends to shift the conversation.